Welcome to Beyond the Break, a podcast where we dive deep into the stories behind today's entrepreneurs, leaders, and changemakers, and we uncover what it takes to build something that lasts. Let's get started. Beyond the Break.
All right, Tom McManus, you ready for this?
Always ready. Good to be with you.
Yeah, great to have you here. Tom McManus is with us today. I've known him through my whole life growing up at Boston College from afar. You're a great linebacker there, and then your career in the NFL as a Jacksonville Jaguar, and now as an entrepreneur in our community. So welcome to the studio.
Hey, it's great to be here, man. Awesome setup. It's nice to be a guest.
Yes, yeah. It's one of your jobs, which we'll dig into, is you host a show with many great people as well. But I want to start first with your football career, because what we talk about here is people who overcome adversity. They go beyond the break.
Sure.
And it looks like on paper you played in college, you did great, and you played in the NFL.
Yeah.
Tell us how that wasn't as easy as we might think with that summary.
Yeah. So I was fortunate to be coached by two great coaches at Boston College. Jack McManus, who was the coach during the Flutie era,
sure,
which still was loud and strong at the time I got to BC in 1988. After the 90s season, they got fired, and Tom Coughlin came the head coach, and I loved the way both of them coached.
Very different styles,
but Jack, Coach McManus was he was a tough guy, but more of a players type coach, where Coughlin demanded, like, I'm not going to let you do the little things wrong. You do everything right, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of a micromanaging type situation.
Yes. Yeah.
Do it my way or the highway, kind of deal. And anyway, so I ended up having I didn't start fully until Coughlin my fourth year. I had two really good years. It's funny, if I was a faster athlete, I may have come out after my fourth year. If I ran a 4.5, which I didn't, or a 4.6 even, which I didn't, I probably would have thought about that. I had a really good junior year. It's funny, you think about today and, the portal and NIL. I'm like, what do you think that would have been worth? And it's been worth pretty good. I don't know what it would have been worth. But anyway, so I had a good college career. I was a good college football player. I was, first team all-conference twice in a row with the Miami linebackers, which was a big honor. Yeah. My dad thought that was huge. He's like, wow, you and the Miami Hurricane are the starters on the first team Big East, and I'm just such a proud thing. Third team All-American. But like I said, I wasn't like this incredible, I ran like a 4.95 maybe in college. It got a lot better as I got older, but I was quicker than I was fast. I didn't impress anybody as far as running a 40-yard dash. So, I went undrafted. I never really thought I was going to be drafted high because of that.
Yeah.
I ended up running. We had a pro day. I ran like a 4.9 flat, which, was good enough. But to them, I guess it wasn't. And so I didn't get drafted, which was kind of a pretty big blow to the old ego and everything. 30. I remember today, 37 linebackers got drafted in 1993, and I wasn't one of them.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know. I knew a lot of them because I would, I was one of the leaders in the nation in tackles both years. So you'd look and see who else is leading and whatnot, and then you follow and that kind of thing. So anyway, I didn't get drafted. I went to the New Orleans Saints as a rookie free agent. We actually played a game in Tokyo, Japan, which was wild. We practiced against the Philadelphia Eagles out there and then played against them. That was like the American Bowl.
So you were basically a walk-on?
Walking on, I'm on the lowest end of the totem pole and trying to work my way up. I ended up getting a lot of playing time during because we played 5 games, the 4th and 5th game. Guy in front of me got hurt, so I was the backup. So I played a couple quarters. I made some plays. I thought I was going to make the team. I even went out, the last game was a Monday night game against the Chicago Bears, of all teams. I'm from Chicago, as you know. And after that game, went out with the vets. They invited me out. They're like, hey, congrats, you're going to make the team. Even Joe Schmingy, who ended up being my teammate at the Jags, he's like, hey, congrats, man, it's awesome, you made the team. But I get the call like 8 a.m, and it was from the coaches, they call him the Turk. Bring your playbook, coach wants to see it. I was like, oh, man.
The next day.
That morning, I wasn't feeling that good, to be quite honest with you, Chris, as a 23-year-old. So anyway, they cut me, and I called my dad, and he was shocked. I always call my dad. My dad was always my first call.
It was a big part of your life.
Big part. Yeah, especially when it came to football, because he played in the leather helmet era. He played before and after World War II at Rutgers. He was just he always believed in physical play, and it didn't mean just football. It was basketball, it was baseball, blocking the plate, rebounding in basketball. It's all attitude. It's all like, being physical and that kind of thing. So he was always my call, and he's like, he was like, I watched the whole game. You played a lot. You made a lot of plays. Like, I thought you were gonna stick with them. I said, yeah, no, they didn't. They let me go. He's like, well, what? He said immediately, he's like, well, you better get a job. And I was like, he's like, well, you going to come home? They were in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Yeah. I said, no, I'm moving up to Chicago. I called my brother Mike, and he took me in, and I lived with some high school buddies. I bartended. So all of 93, I bartended in downtown Chicago. 94, I got a new agent. He got me a workout with the Redskins in the summer of 94.
Were you keeping in shape then? Like
off and on, but once I knew there was a workout coming, then I cut all the bad out and focused on the good, and ran a ton and just took care of my body and all that good stuff. So I was always prepared for it. But to say that I was in tip-top shape the entire time, that wouldn't be accurate. Right. Lifting wise, I always lifted because I like lifting, but not the running wise. And anyway, so they didn't sign me. So then I was like, all right, it's over. I moved to Boston. The Boston college community was fantastic. Mm-hmm. The Alumni Association is one of the best in the world, if not the best. They had me a job. They had me job interviews, like 8 of them lined up in no time at all.
That's great.
And I had just agreed to a job. It was a sales gig. It was a pretty good gig, right up my alley. I was going to be selling like physical therapy equipment, like TENS units, weightlifting equipment to colleges and pro teams and all different sports, and a company car, all this stuff. I was like, this is going to be a great job. I was really pumped. And I was living in Lynn, Massachusetts, with an old girlfriend of mine who from college, and the phone rings, and it's Steve Szabo, my old linebacker coach from BC, out of the blue, the clear blue, and he's like, "Hey, it's Coach Szabo." I'm like, I haven't talked to him in 2 years. I'm like, "What are you talking? How'd you find me?" He's like, "I called the Alumni Association. They gave me the number where you're staying." He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm about to start a job." Like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, you heard Tom got the job in Jacksonville." I said, "Yeah, I did hear that." He's like, "Well, he wanted me to call you and just see if you would come down for a workout." He goes, "Look, we're going to have a draft. We're going to have an expansion draft. We're going to have free agents." He's like, "But then there's going to be, 10 spots that we're just going to get from wherever, and
okay.
He's like, you're not promised anything, but just a chance to work out for us." And I was like, "You gotta be shitting me." Like, sorry for my language. I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." And I said yes right away. He's like, "Well, are you in shape?" And I said, "Yeah." I wasn't in shape. I was lifting again, but I wasn't like in cardio shape. And he's like, "Well, you got 2 months to get into shape."
Okay.
So I moved to New Smyrna Beach. My dad and he came to every run and workout. He'd time me all the time. Just sprints after sprints.
So no professional trainer, just you and your dad.
Just me and my dad. Well, I knew how to train. I knew how to lift for sure. And the running, I just continued to worked in the pool. It was big. Like, this was it. It was my. So anyway, I come up to Bishop Kenny for a workout, and it's funny. Coughlin will tell you this story too. I ran on grass. I ran a 8.3 on grass, which is like, pretty decent on a track, maybe like 4.75. And I was bigger. I was 245. I just got, I kind of hit my physical prime. Some people hit it young. I was like 24. Okay. Anyway, so he's like, "Where was that speed at Boston College?" Anyway, so he brings me into his office, and he's like, "Look, I'm not going to sign you today." He's like, "I got other guys to look at." He's like, "But, if we do this, you got to understand, it's a bit." I said, "Coach, I want a shot. That's it. You give me a shot, I'll give you everything I got. And if it works out, I'll be happy. And if it doesn't, I'll be thankful that you gave it to me." He's like, "Okay." Sure. He said, "Thanks. I'll be in touch." And 2 weeks later, he called and said, "All right, I got you a 1-year deal, $5,000 signing bonus."
All right. Save it.
I bought a Jeep. No, I bought a Jeep. I needed transportation to go back and forth. This beat up old Jeep. And came up to Jacksonville, and after the workout in 94, came up in March of 95. And, just did the off-season program, went to camp. And I'm telling you, when I walked, I'll never forget walking into the first day of training camp in '95. We're up in Wisconsin, and the depth charts come out. And so at inside linebacker, I'm a middle linebacker, Mike. I'm like 5th, and on punt team, I'm like 7th.
On the Jaguars
depth chart. So I'm just sitting there going like, you get it. I think we got it like right before, the first practice, and you're just like, damn, like, how am I going to make this team?
Sure.
Like, this is unbelievable. So, what all you can do is every chance you get, you just, give it your best. And I did that. If I may, can I sidebar for a minute? Because there was a story my dad told me that really, it really got me through a lot of things, but especially that training camp. 2 weeks before training camp, before we left, I got the nerve to ask him about the war. He was a B-24 bomber pilot, World War II, and spent 11 months as a prisoner of war, as you know from reading the book. But I never got the gumption to ask him. So one night we're up late, just him and I. He loved that I was a former bartender. I'd make his drinks, and it was whiskey and a little bit of water. And we're up late at night, and I get up to get him another drink, and I said, Dad, can I ask you a question about the war? He's like, what do you want to know? I said, tell me about the time you got shot down.
Oh, my gosh.
And he's like, sit down. And it was like, it blew me away. Like, it was, I don't know if I wrote it well enough to give it justice, but it was like, I hear him and I'm looking at him, but I'm seeing this film of black and white, on the day they were going to Munich, there was 39 of them, and they had this painted tip this tip that wasn't painted, and it was kind of like a sore thumb sticking out, and they're supposed to have a rendezvous with American fighters. It ends up being the German Focke-Wulfs, and they're in this dogfight, and I think they got 9 or 11 hits, and they get hit, and they're going down. He's just telling me this whole thing. One guy gets hit. He tells us about his crew and just all this stuff, and getting captured, and these Hitler youth, pointing guns at him before the real Nazi came and arrested them, and they're playing Russian roulette with them, and just being traveling all these Anyway, he gets done, and I'm like blown away. Like I always, I always looked up to my father like he was my dad, but now I'm like, holy cow, like this is unbelievable. And I said to him, I said, Dad, like, how old were you? And he goes, 24. And I was 24 at the time, going to try out for the Jags.
Perspective, right?
And this is what I said, though. This is the best. I said, and here I am just trying to. I'm like, got tears. I'm like, here I am just trying to make a football team. And he goes, no. He goes, you're fighting for your life. Mm-hmm. This is what you've wanted your whole life.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And it got me through. Every time I was tired, every time I didn't think I had a good day, I thought of that story, and I was like, "You just shut up and get going."
No,
and
and it stuck with you to this
stuck
day.
through. So anyway, I made the team, which was great. I called my dad back then. When there was no phones, we got a phone for Christmas from the team. It was a Motorola flip phone. Everyone thought we were so cool.
Yeah.
And but prior to that, no phone at all. So there was a pay phone inside the tunnel. I called my dad and told him that we made it.
Oh my gosh.
It was great. It was great.
But there again, you only had a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
You could be cut at any moment.
At any moment, yeah.
So now what happens the rest of your career, right?
Yeah.
You're never rock solid in the NFL unless, like, we all hear the Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, like those guys are locked in. But there's more Tom McManuses in the league than there are Tom Brady's.
Yeah, well, the contract gives you stability, but when you sign 1-year deals, you don't have much leverage, you don't have much security. You have that year, and you only have that year if you play a certain amount of games during the season. I think it's after week 3, then it becomes guaranteed.
Okay.
They can cut you at any time. Yeah. They still can cut you. If you get injured, they can do an injury settlement, that type of thing. But it all worked out that first year. I ended up making the team. I didn't play the first 2 games, which made me really mad. Coach and I had a little argument over it, but the next week I started just backing up. So I was always like, the first year I was short yardage, goal line, punt, and kickoff. Okay. So if we had to stop, I was good at stopping the run. Yeah. I swear goal line scrimmages helped me make the team because I could do that pretty well. I could always hit pretty well. The big melon the good Lord gave me, not afraid to whack somebody with it, So that was, the first year. But then even the next year, Coughlin came to me and he's like, I'll never forget it. I'm in the weight room and he's like, look, you're gonna have to make this team on special teams. Like you got to do really well on special teams.
Wow.
So I cut weight to be faster, and I ended up being one of the top tacklers during the preseason of '96. So I made the team again.
So it's the little things, being part of the team.
Yeah,
it's a role player.
I think too, it's like, look, I believe it's really hard to get into the NFL, but once you're in, you got to produce, got to stay healthy. Your body's got to stay healthy. But if you have a good attitude, good work ethic, you're a good teammate, you really got to stink it up for them to get rid of you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you're a good employee. You're a good member of the team.
You've done all the
you may not be a
basics,
superstar, but when we need you on third down, when we need you on punt, and you're in here in the weight room and working hard, and other guys work hard with you, and you're in your team, you're doing your job, like you should be doing your job. That's a good thing. And as long as you produce, I got hurt twice, so eventually – after my second injury, Coach Coughlin's like, Tom, we can't keep investing in you.
Yeah.
And I got it. I tore my ACL in '97, came back in '98, tore my tendon out underneath my ankle in '99, and that was the last I ever played. So the way my career went was, '96 was a great year. It was a sad year because my dad had died the last day of 1995. This New Year's Eve will be his 30th year of passing, which, he was my best buddy. And he did get to see me play, which was great. My mom's a big fan. She's 94. She's doing okay.
Wow.
She's, it's unbelievable. Can't imagine.
But he got to see you on the field.
Yeah, he got to see me play and all that. So anyway, but '96 was a great year for me personally and the team because we went all the way to the AFC Championship game. But right before halftime against the Pats, Week 4, my friend and teammate Brian Schwartz got hurt. He was starting middle linebacker. He tore his ACL, was out for the year. So I got put in there and had a really good year.
Yeah.
We went all the way to the AFC Championship game. Go to camp. Got eye on the prize. So does Brian. So do another guy or two. And I end up tearing my ACL in the first week.
What does that feel like when you feel like you're in a great rhythm, right?
Yeah.
Everything looks like, hey, I might have a good, solid career. I'm contributing.
Yeah.
And then the moment happens.
Yeah.
Because it's 12. Back then it was over 12 months recovery, right?
It was. And I actually went with the cadaver ligament, and it's never given me a problem whatsoever.
Okay.
Pete Indelicato, he's the man. Dr. Pete from Gainesville did it. He was a specialist in doing it. But it takes you out for the year. Back then there was, not that you would come back in 4 weeks, but there was no coming back once you went on IR for that year. So you just rehab. I mean, that's your job. I was fortunate enough that they paid my full salary, so, I'm still an employee. I'm still with them. So I'm rehabbing like crazy. I can't wait to get back, but had to make the team in '98, 1 year contract again. I ended up, I think I started only 4 games that year, but played in all of them. Goal line, special teams, all that. Right. And then here's a great story. So after '98, I'm a free agent, right? And I've been battling with the starting job, and I really, everyone wants to be a starter. So I take a trip to San Diego. They were the Chargers at the time. They had Seo and they had all that, but I was like, man, I just got to get away from Jacksonville. I need new opportunity, new life, new scenery, whatever. So they don't offer me. I come back. I was staying with a buddy of mine in Boca or at Delray Beach just to get away for a couple months, working out. And he liked going to gym too, so we'd work out after he was done working. And anyway, Coughlin, his secretary calls me, and then he gets on the phone, and we have this debate for like 45 minutes.
You and Tom?
Yes, about why I should be the starting middle linebacker for the Jags and why I deserve the. And all I want is a shot. I said, just tell me I got a clean, fair level shot, and I'd love to come back because he would give, he was like, yeah, you are, but, and I said, Coach, go ask the defensive line. Just go ask him if they want me to play or not. And he, whatever. So anyway, he's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna give you the shot. So I ended up winning the job, which was great. And then the second game, last play of the second game, I ruptured the tendon underneath my ankle, and that was it. That was the end.
Oh my gosh! I mean, think of the highs and lows, and that was 5 years.
5 years. Five credited seasons.
1 year contracts.
Correct.
Now, I thought there was a connection to the Pro Bowl. There's a McManus.
There is.
There's a McManus who was in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, so the best part of me being a Jaguar is I met my wife, Christina, who is from here, from the beach. And she is a Pro Bowl cheerleader of the Jacksonville Roar from 1998, after the 98 season. She got...
so we do have a McManus Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. You know, it's so funny. Like 2 weeks into our courtship in 99, this was before I got hurt, she came over with a Pro Bowl hat on. And I was like, oh, no. One of my teammates, like, dated her or something. I was like, no, I really like this girl. And she finally is like, hey, what is wrong with you? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, what? You have this attitude. I'm like, the hat. Like, where'd you get the hat? She's like, I went to the Pro Bowl. I'm like, well, clearly you went to the Pro Bowl. Who took you there? She's like, nobody took me there. I went. I'm like, what do you mean you went? She's like, you know, I was a Roar cheerleader. I was like, get out of here. She's like, yeah. I gave her a big hug. I'm like, phew.
Oh, that's
great.
So
25 plus years later, man, we've
what a life.
We've been married and 3 beautiful daughters. And
so you're the toughest guy I know, and you have 3 daughters.
They're the best.
And so you're, instead of going to football, you're going to dance.
Yeah.
So you're a dance dad.
Dance dad. I've been in about 5 recitals, playing different roles, and that's always fun. What's
You've
that?
Danced.
No, it's not really. I don't really dance, but they do a ballet every year. So, I played Gaston in Beauty and the Beast a couple times.
Oh, that's
I played
funny.
King Triton in Under the Sea, Ariel. But I'm trying to pass the torch because Paul Pazluzny his daughters dance there, and my daughter's got they're my youngest is 17, so she's got a couple years. And he's in way better shape than I am. And I'm like, dude, you're next because I'm not taking my shirt off anymore for the dance studio. But,
so now you've pivoted your life, right? You had these ups and downs in the NFL. Yeah. You get greatness, great teams. And now what? Now you're entering the working world, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't go a normal path, though.
Well, I tried to. I did. I tried to go a normal path. I had a great relationship with a guy named Gil Pomar. I don't know if you know Gil. He's a banker. So I get hurt. The next, I rehabbed that year, but I couldn't do anything. I was in a cast for like 12 weeks, non-weight bearing, couldn't drive, couldn't do anything. My wife and I got really close, I think, and then we got engaged later that December after about 4 months of dating. But he set me up, Gil did, with about 10 to 15 business leaders in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I got to speak in front of them, what I like, anyway. So I ended up getting a job with a great group of people. They're called Phoenix Realty. They're now Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. The owners are still the same for 93. They're part of my team, Tommy Mack, that I endorse and market. They're great people. I was in the industrial sector for 2 years. I was top 5 1 year. It wasn't bad. I liked it. It didn't fulfill me. And I'm this. It's not the money. Like, I want, obviously you want to make as much money as you can to take care of things, but I've never been driven by that. I'm driven by happiness.
Yeah.
And if I'm not happy, it's just, I don't have the same for that, for doing well in that. So I literally was after my second year, this is 3. So maybe, 2002, 2003. I called Dave Weidel, my former teammate, former Boston College Eagle.
Yeah.
I said, David, we should be the first former Jaguars doing a radio show. He's like, I know people at the local Fox. Let me make a phone call. He calls them up, and they thought we were like kidding.
Yeah.
Well, they gave us 2 hours at Fox, and we crushed it. We didn't even know what we were going to talk about. And next thing you know, they're like, how about an hour a week? And we're like, okay. And then how about an hour a day? Awesome. How about your own show? this is great. So I got into that. And
but that business isn't salary paycheck. It's you've got to work with sponsors and advertisers, right? As a host.
But see, being the entrepreneur, I like that because you would buy your time, and then you got all this, these spots, these commercials, these live endorsements to sell to people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
you're running your own business.
Yeah, you're running your own business. Yeah. Now today they have a hybrid, right? Mm-hmm. So you can be part salary. You can still go out and sell, get commissions, that kind of stuff. It's not, nobody's buying time today.
Okay.
And the radio stations got smart because I may pay you $2,500, for the a month for the, for the hour a day or an hour a week or whatever it is. I'm probably got the math off, but I'm going to sell it for $7,500.
Okay.
They're like, well, you're not going to get your cake and eat it too. Yes, so eventually they had to stop it. But it was really good for a while. Dave and I broke up, and then I went on my own and really kind of been on my own for a while until recently, where I'm now a co-host on a show called Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And we're 2 to 4 p.m. Monday through Wednesday, and then on Fridays. I love it. Taylor Dahl, Lauren Brooks, inside the studio. It's a good show. Yeah. It's a really good show, and I enjoy doing it. So
I love your perspective. Is you're just like the way you play. Like you work hard. You love the Jaguars, but there's warts to the team, and we've lived through 20 years of ups and a lot of downs.
Well, look, I don't
want them to produce.
At the end of the day, I want them to win.
Yeah,
I want nobody in this city or that's a fan of this team can say they want the Jags to win more than me. There's no way. Yeah. I can't say that I want it to win more than everybody else, but you can't say you want them to win more than me. Yeah. But I look at it from a tough love perspective, just like I was raised, just the way I was coached. It's fair. It's honest. If you're consistent, some people can't handle it, but that's too bad because I'm not changing that. Sometimes the delivery can be different. Yeah. Today you got to deliver things a little different. It's all good, but the principles of it. And what is it? Do your job. Do it well. And win ball games. You're not going to win them all, but you can't lose them the way you were losing them.
Yeah.
And there's no free pass just because you're a pro athlete in this town.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Like because for the record, one of the reasons is I see what a winning ball club does to the city.
Yeah.
It lights us on fire.
Oh, no,
I mean, it's insane how incredible it is when our team is winning. I made a joke on one of my podcasts about before they went to Arizona. I said, come back 7-4 because Thanksgiving's going to be unbelievable.
Yes.
It's going to be that much better because everybody's going to be talking about the 7-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. But that does come with critique because we know, and from playing in lacrosse, and as you get further along and you get into the tournament, teams get better.
Yeah.
So you make mistakes, you might not be able to come back. You could come back against Arizona. You made a bunch of mistakes in Arizona, offense and defense, not just offense, and not just the QB, but you came back. Well, guess what? When you're playing Buffalo or you're playing KC if they get in, or you're playing any playoff team, you may not have that chance to come back. So you got to fix that.
How does it happen at the pro level? And just using our hometown team as an example, where they play great and then they have the worst fourth quarter ever. Like, what is happening, just to summarize, what's happening in a pro athlete's mindset where all 22 starters are very different in the last fourth quarter, but then the week later they look like world beaters again? Do you run out of momentum? Do you take it for granted?
Momentum is real. You know it as an athlete. You know it as well as an athlete, right? I mean, it's a real thing. And when it happens in a football game, I only speak from football perspective, it's the strangest thing. You can't even put it into words. It's like this wave of, I can't stop anything. Or like from a defensive standpoint or an offense, like nothing's working. It's just, and they just start to take over, and then the crowd takes over. So let me give you an example of the Houston game, okay? And I've said this multiple times. I have no problem saying it with you guys. Liam Cohen should have never gone for 2 because he didn't need it. And when he did that and they didn't get it, the momentum swung. And then what happened the very next play? 20-yard run by Chubb, a pass down the field, blah, 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 in the end zone. And then the momentum swung.
Yes.
Then we go out as an offense and go 3 and out. They get the ball back at home. Like, now you feel the wave, like, somebody's got to do something. Like, somebody's got to make a play, and nobody's making plays because they go right down the field again and hit you again. And then your offense comes out again and goes 3 and out. And then you're like, what is going on? Yeah. So part of it is play calling. Right, to get the guys in the right spot. Part of it's execution. Guys might lose focus. The emotion gets to them. They get tired because that momentum will make you tired as heck. Okay. They lose focus for a second. It's a game of, as you know, of inches. Yeah. You know, you think of last week against Arizona. Dortch, number 4, the wide receiver, ran a slant. Jarian Jones just missed the ball, but he missed the tackle as well. Wingard's here, but he took a wrong step, and the guy's gone. So he's got the wrong angle. Just think how quick that happens.
Yeah.
How quick that happens. And if Wingard is a little bit more focused on what's going on, and I don't know what took him away, maybe something on his side because he did have to come over.
Yeah.
But he did it later in the game to save the day. So he was on his cue there. So just little things like that. I'm not blaming Andrew Wingard for that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like those little things that happen. And we've seen it. And then you have to sit back and be like, all right, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
Now, what I liked about the Arizona win, the latest win, is they cemented the week before.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go, you don't kick the crap out of the Chargers at home, go to the Cardinals and lose without people saying, well, that was a one-off.
Yeah.
Now you're cementing that. Like, okay, maybe they're 7-4. We're one game out of first place in our division.
It's crazy.
Think about that.
Yeah,
We're one game out.
Right there. Well,
hopefully we can make it happen.
Your tough love analysis is great. And, you know, I just look back now. You're this tough guy, linebacker. You've written a book. You're writing screenplays. You're an entrepreneur.
Wrote a couple songs.
Right. Yeah, you're singing.
Yeah, sing. We just had Dad Bods just had a gig Saturday night.
Man,
it was at the new local here in PV.
That looks great.
Beautiful.
Looks great.
What a patio out back, man.
It.
Unbelievable. And the stage is awesome, too. And it's funny you say that. So after the show, my one of my really good friends, Gerald Ingram, he's a 2-time Super Bowl coach with Coughlin, the running back coach for the Jags, BC Jags, and then the Giants. And he's in the back, and I didn't know he was there at first, and at the end I saw him. And he gets up, and I come over to him. We were totally done, and he goes, you know, you sing just like you play football, all out, full speed. Yes. And I said, there's only one way, Coach, right?
Well, that's what I was just thinking. I think your whole career is like, I can imagine you doing an Oklahoma drill back in the day. That's the way you are. You know, you just take the challenge. Yeah. You don't worry about who you're matched up against, and you just run through them. So.
Well, you know, look, it's funny, and I'm not condoning any kind of physical activity out there. No fighting. I don't like fighting. I really don't. I don't like when people fight. But it's that theory of, okay, there's a guy that's bigger than you, right? You immediately think he's tougher than you because he's bigger than you. Yeah. Now, you jiu-jitsu artists out there are like, no, we don't, because I know you don't. But most people do. But here's the thing. You don't know what he's capable of until you do what? Take the chance. Take the shot. Like, it's more metaphorically speaking in life. Like, you have to go for it.
Writing a screenplay, you're taking the chance.
Taking the chance, taking the risk. You know, and look, it's a roller coaster ride. Yeah. It is. If I may, because I know you're faith-based too, my faith in the good Lord is so phenomenal. It's my relationship with him and his son and the Holy Spirit, the Blessed Trinity. I always say, like, because people ask, like, man, how do you? And I say, look, I got God and I got me. Yeah. And I'm going to win one way or the other. And I've lost, trust me. We went through hard times about 5 years ago, financial hard times, and we fought our way back. Yeah. And there was only one way to do it, to look in the mirror and get it done, you know, and I had to figure it out, and I did, and I'm still going. I'm still, but what during those times, the good Lord showed me all that I'm thankful for, all the blessings that we have in our life. I know we get bogged down by paying bills and making money and career and all this, but if you stop and you really look around, there are blessings in front of you all over the place. Your family, your kids, your friends, your experiences, good and bad, your opportunities, your abilities. Those are God-given. You know what I mean? If you really just take that in and then get that grounded and then go, man, you're going to take on the world, man.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, I'm 55. I started a band at 50. Me and my friends, we're all in our 50s.
Yeah.
You know, I've been working on my dad's screenplay. I got a brand new one out called We'll Always Be Pals. It's the name of title of my book as well. I'm not giving up till, I just won't give up, you know.
Keep it up, Tom.
Well, here's the deal, if I may.
Yeah.
If you give up, it's over. If you never give up, you'll always have a chance.
Yes. That's
So
beautiful.
don't give up.
Don't give up. Keep
give up,
grinding.
man. Keep
Love
going.
it. Number 55
And then
is
thank the
55.
good man.
Yeah.
And thank the good Lord.
God, your wife, and family. You
That's
got a
right,
lot,
man.
A lot to be blessed, but you've also worked your tail off for
Yeah,
that.
got more to do.
Yes. I can't wait to see it, Tom. We'll
more
have
to
you
do.
in part 2 to hear the rest.
All right. I love
thanks.
it.
Thanks for being
Thanks
in
for
studio,
having
Tom.
me, man. Great
Appreciate
job.
it, buddy.
That was fun.
Thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Break. If this conversation brought you value, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. We've got more real stories, sharp insights, and powerful turning points coming your way. See you next time.